Welcome to Studio 1430, a Norwegian talk show filled with stars from the underground. Real music, real people, and real stories. Enjoy the cult!
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are back with the band Istårn with Kadavar and Dormin. Welcome to Studio 1430.
Thank you. Thank you.
First of all, the band name. Why did you choose Istårn as your band name?
Well, it's actually more a funny story than anything. When I went to school, me and some friends, we were planning on making a band. Mostly just for fun, and it was about being as true as possible. And then my friend told me that we have to have this super epic name like Istårn, which means ice tower. And then later on, when I actually started this band, I couldn't actually find any other suitable name, so I went with Istårn, and that's what it became.
And Istårn was formed in 2010.
Yeah.
So you've been around for 6 years.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Why do Istårn exist? Why do you create music?
Well, for my part, it's mostly because I want to express this energy that I'm always carrying with me. And there are no other bands that manage to write what I want to write. A lot of bands come really close, and a lot of bands create music that I like, but nothing that I'm that passionate about writing myself. That's my reason.
So the lyrics, what are they about?
Well, when I first started with the first EP, Downfall of the Gods, the clue is in the title of the EP. It's mostly about tearing down this godly presence. And then when I moved on with Skyggeland, I was a little bit older, and then the lyrics became more about fighting your own demons inside yourself. And with the next album that we are currently writing, I'm mostly focusing on philosophical questions and space and time continuum, or as he likes to call it, space and shit. Yeah.
What have Istårn released so far?
In 2011, 1 year after we started, or about 1 year after, we gave out a 4-song EP, which is called Downfall of the Gods. Production-wise, I love the EP. I think it sounds amazing, but I'm not that much a fan of the music. It's a little bit too thrash metal-y for my taste today, but every once in a while I still put it on and listen to some of the songs. While the second release was Skyggeland from 2013. Which has the complete opposite problem for me. The production value is way too low, but I do like some of the music in it. That one was a little bit too rushed, I think. We should have waited with going into the studio. We should have written a little bit more in it, and we should have finished it more before we went into production with the album. So I'm hoping that the third one will be the charm. We also released Cosmic Scar in January this year, which is
fresh taste of the new music we're making, basically.
Yeah. All new lineup except me, and it's basically what we're always supposed to sound like. The way I I saw the band when I started. Cosmic Scar is a very good
representation of what we want to do with it.
Yeah.
So the song Cosmic Scar is more like, yeah, you always wanted to sound like.
Yes.
But when the music on Downfall of the Gods and Shigeland, did you create music, or are you only writing lyrics and screaming the vocals?
I'm mostly writing the lyrics, and well, I'm the only one writing the lyrics, and I'm mostly doing the vocals. I did help with writing the music in the 2 previous releases, but I wasn't a major part in it, and I'm not a major part in it right now either. So
what happens is basically I just do the composing back home, and I just bring whatever I have made and have him look at it, and he can give me, like, criticize it or leave it as it is, or
mostly my role is more or less greenlighting what Dormin and Gnome, the other composer, is making, and I can come with some inputs, but I'm not a great composer. But I think they have really a good understanding of how I want the music to sound and how I want the whole image of the band to be.
So when did you join the band?
Roughly like 2 years ago. I started in a band in October 2014.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So basically, I had no part in, like, the first releases. My first part came in, like, with composing was Cosmic Scar. That was like a collaborative song that me and Gnome did.
Yeah.
And he made lyrics basically. So that's like my first part of the band.
Okay, great. Now, I think the song Cosmic Scar, I think it sounds like, if you listen to that song, it sounds like something that is made after the year 2000. But Shigeland CD and the Downfall of the Gods EP, you listen that there is some 90s influences on those.
Yeah, I was quite strict with that when I, especially with Shigeland, I think I was like very strict with the wish of capturing that whole 1990s essence. That's not too important to me anymore. To me, it's more about expressing where we are at this moment. So the Shigeland was also purposely lowered in sound quality in order to capture that essence, and the producer did it on purpose. So I'm not too happy with it today, and if I were to release that album today, I would probably make it sound a little bit more polished.
Where did you record Downfall of the Gods and Shigeland?
Downfall of the Gods was recorded in Conclave, an air shot in Bergen, with the guys from Enslaved, Istårn and Fyllingsdalen, while Shigeland was a little bit more amateur-ish produced. It was produced by Jarle from Istårn, or Son is the band he's active with now. And it was in a building that's been teared down since.
Who made the artwork for the Cosmic Scar single?
Oh, her name is Tonja. She's a friend of Gnome actually, but she's become more of a friend of the band. We like to work a little bit with her. She may be doing some work for us later this year.
The second album, is it soon done, or how many
We
songs?
hope for at least early 2017 release. Hopefully first quarter of 2017.
So you hasn't started to record it yet?
No,
we have a lot of ideas. Like we might even have like 2 albums of materials. We just need to figure out what we really want to use for it.
Yeah, originally I wanted to be done with it like in the winter of 2016, but I've realized since then that that's going to be a little pushing it a little bit. But
takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we want to make it as good as possible, and then we can't really rush it like we did with Skyggeland.
No. Do you know where you want to record it?
Mainly all the guitars and stuff. We're just gonna do in my home studio, possibly bass too, and drums. Maybe conclave.
Yeah, we're probably or at least possibly going to look at Conclave again because they have like I said with the EP, the sound from their studio is quite good, and then we might ask them to mix it, or we'll maybe end up mixing it ourselves. Depends.
Do you bring your own drum kit to Conclave, or do they have like a drum kit ready for you there?
At that point, when we get there, we're probably going to use our own drum kit. Our new drummer has a pretty decent one, or if not, we're maybe permitted to borrow the drum kit of the drummer in Glohem. But we'll have to see how we do it, and yeah, which drum kit we are going to use.
It's not as big as a concern at the moment.
No, like we said, it's going to be an issue when we get there. But at this point, we mostly just focus on getting the music done, and then when we're going to record it, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Where do you rehearse?
Now in Arma.
Yeah.
Is that the same place as Brohem?
Yeah. So it's called Stålback, I think. It's an interesting location. We have some interesting neighbors.
Do you want to tell me more
Well,
about that?
Well, we used to say like we have a hallway, and then there's 3 or 4 doors, and one is a textile artist, and then there's a guy having a studio, and then there are us, and then there are a guy making BDSM porn.
So naked people in the hallway might be a possibility. Maybe.
Yeah.
Great, there you have your artwork.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take some pictures in the hallway.
The guy has sort of become a little bit of a running gag with the people that are rehearsing. So, yeah.
On Saturday, 23rd July, you are playing a Dissection gig.
Yes, we are.
Which song are you going to perform?
We are going to perform some stuff from the Aryan Chaos album, and we will be the only band that are performing stuff from that album. I'm not going to say which songs exactly, but I can. Yeah, there are some of the songs that really have inspired me a lot earlier on, and that whole album has been part in why I started this band, and especially the 2 songs that we're going to play. So to me it was natural to choose the 2 songs. We're only playing 2 songs, and yeah, like I said, I'm not going to name drop the songs right now. Then you will have to come to the concert to see that.
Do you have any other live events in the near future?
Probably gonna focus on making the album first, and then probably use the album to promote ourselves later on in 2017. I'm
trying to sort of stop the concert stuff until we're done with the album, mostly because we need to use the time to focus on the creative part, and then we can perform when we actually have something new to show.
Skyggeland album, you released that with a label, but the Cosmic Scar is released by Istårn.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Skyggeland was originally released by ourselves, and then we signed with the label Senseless Life Records in the UK for a re-release of that album, and originally intended to have another album like our next album as well. However, the label, what's it called? They closed down. since that, and they wanted to focus only on digital distribution for a certain type of bands, and I didn't agree with the way they were doing that. I didn't agree with that philosophy at all. So I decided that we were no longer going to be associated with them, and now we're looking for some new labels. So we're trying to get in contact with some.
We're discussing the opportunities basically,
Yeah.
within the band.
So you want to release like physical copies?
Yeah. I want at least, because some people, not everyone, but some people still like to have the physical copy. I'm one of those people. Either CD or vinyl, and I want to give them the opportunity at least to actually get our new album. And I'm a big fan of physical editions. I don't think there's not enough magic over having something on your computer, like just having it. It's something entirely different when you can actually put it forward and see this is something I got or created, or yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. Okay, it's probably a good decision.
Yeah.
Why and when did you get into this kind of music, into heavy metal, black metal, punk?
You get to start with this one.
Well, I started in 6th grade. I basically started with AC/DC and eventually Iron Maiden, and then some Limp Bizkit. That was like my 6th and 7th grade. A good combination of this. And then in high school, I basically got into like Metallica, more extreme stuff, thrash metal, and then in 10th grade, like black metal, like Torque. And after that, it's just become more of everything, basically.
Most guys have the same answer. We start with Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Metallica,
Yeah, of
Iron
course.
Maiden, all of
Yeah.
that,
Easy listening.
Black Sabbath,
Yeah.
and we evolve.
Yeah.
But what about you?
I don't have a entirely different way of starting it, but I guess I was in. I can't really remember how old I was, but I was still in what's it called, grade 6th grade ish, and then I started listening a little bit to Kiss, and a little bit to Iron Maiden, a little bit like what I could find. But I didn't listen a lot to it. I actually listened a little bit to Linkin Park and stuff like that as well, and a lot to hip hop. And then I got a little bit older and started into the 8th and 9th grade, and I moved over to power metal bands, a little bit Hammerfall and Sonata Arctica and stuff like that. So I like the melodies a lot. And then later on, when I got into the 10th grade, I started moving a little bit over to Satyricon, which is today my favorite band. And when I then got over to my next school, I moved over to Gorgoroth, and then I was suddenly a lot more into the whole black metal stuff, and like every person that I've ever met that starts listening to black metal, I was always searching for a little bit more extreme than what I was listening to. It never got quite enough until I met bands like Gorgoroth and Watain and stuff like that. Today I don't really listen to Gorgoroth, and I can't really stand Watain, but that's yeah.
But you still have your relations in the past.
Yeah, absolutely, and like I said, I still listen a lot to Satyricon. That's my favorite band. I think I've moved more over to the whole indie sort of stuff within black metal, but there are definitely a lot of interesting bands that I used to listen to as well.
Do you remember when you say Satyricon, which record was the first one you?
My first one was Now They Volgo. Yeah, and that one is very special to me in many ways. That's the one with King and
Yeah.
the Pentagram Burns. A lot of people don't like that record
No.
because it's not as true and it's not Nemesis Divina basically. But I think it has a lot of energy that people are overlooking because people listen to it and then they hear that, oh, this isn't Modern North, and then they take it off and are like, yeah, no, Satyricon are posers. But I'm really into that album still today. I think it has a lot of dark energies which are really personified with the songs, even though it's a little bit more rock and roll than a lot of their other releases.
What was the first black metal album you
Probably Hordaland's Death Squad.
took? Yeah.
Probably, yeah, but okay.
Great.
Yeah.
I never really got into that band. I listened to some of it. I think Tokyo's I think it's okay. And that's a very weird position to
That's
have
scary
in Bergen.
to say in Bergen.
Yeah, in Bergen that's not a very popular position to have. But no, I don't think it's bad, but I just don't think it's that good. I think it's
too prog for you.
No, it's in the middle of it's just in the middle. It's okay. It's I'm not turning it off, and if anyone is turning it on, but I'm not the one that. I like the Mew song with the banjo, but except that I'm not really that interested.
No. I actually think that Tokyo is the best black metal band.
Yeah,
I can only listen to
I'm
them.
not really surprised by that because everyone in Bergen thinks that Tokyo is the best black metal band, and they're not.
Well, my favourite is probably Windy, but
Yeah, back to Windy.
yeah.
I am so amazed by the two last albums of Windy, the production sound they got on Likfärd and
1184.
yeah.
Yeah, that one was.
It sounds so.
1184 is actually quite different than every one of the albums.
Yeah.
I think. I read something about why. I can't really remember why, but that's my favorite album from Windy. I love the little bit more electronic vibes that 1184 gives out. So
Both of you are saying you like Windy,
yeah.
but Istårn is more like black metal.
I think you have to differentiate between something you like and something you're inspired by, because a lot of people get those two mixed up, and people are saying, yeah, I like Mayhem, therefore I am inspired by Mayhem, while I'm more in the direction that, yeah, I like Winter, but I'm not drawing my inspiration from it.
What usually happens is that we just make music and then we can listen back to it and yeah, it sounds like that and it sounds like that. We never like find, okay, let's make something that sounds like this band. It's just like we find the similarities afterwards, basically.
Yeah, I think the band, the new band, Devil, I think they said it quite well when they're saying, we're not here to recreate, we're here to create, which is a good way to put it. Like, we're not here to make the new or the next Windy or Satyricon or Tokyo or Gorgoroth album. We're here to make the next Istårn album.
That's a great quote, or a great way to
philosophy.
philosophy.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go with Istårn? Where are you in 10 years, or do you have any specific goals? Like, we want to something.
Yeah, I want to hear your answer on this.
World tour, no.
Yeah.
Australia.
Being big in Japan.
Big in
No,
Japan.
my goal with Istårn has always been to evolve to a next level of where we are now. Like, if I think back to when I started, the band has always been about evolving myself and evolving the sound of the band into something even better than where we are. And that's going to be my goal for the next 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. I always want to have some sort of evolution to my sound and to my lyrics and to the whole expression of the band. Exactly what we're doing in 10 years, it's not that important to me. Of course, it would be nice to be headlining at Wacken, but you know, that's not going to happen.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
But what's going to happen is maybe, like, if we get enough attention, then maybe we get to play on some bigger festivals, and that would be fun. But
Or like touring with bigger bands,
Yeah.
basically.
but that's not the goal I have for the band. The goal I have has always been to express
Evolve ourselves,
Yeah.
basically.
Make the best music you
We can.
Yeah. Make the best music anyone can.
Yeah.
It's that is actually the best goal you can have. Be the best at what you are doing. Be the best in the world at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Make sure that nobody else is doing what you are doing better than you are.
Mm.
Because if you have that as a goal, then everyone will get better.
Yeah.
That's another great philosophy.
Better music for everyone.
Yeah.
Is there any specific artists or bands you look up to that you want to say, like Satyricon and?
Well, to me, it has always been Satyricon. Like, again, I don't draw a lot of inspiration from their music in that way. I draw some of my inspiration from, again, their goal is to find this sort of what's it called? This strong superhuman nature, and that's what their goal is, and that's sort of what my goal is too. When I say always evolve to get better, I know if we ever get to be a warm-up band for them, that would be very nice for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is there any specific albums? Almost the same question, but is there any specific albums that has formed you as an artist?
Probably Watershed by Opeth.
You are more.
I'm a
progressive,
little bit of everything, but like progressive metal is like my thing. And when I started listening to Opeth, like I evolved like rapidly as a guitarist.
You are the lead guitarist.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I listen to Cosmic Scar in my head right now, I think you play the guitar
Yeah.
solo. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any specific albums you can say?
I'm not really sure about that. To be honest, I have something that has given me this energy. Like it's going to be a weird one, but we have the artist Susanne Sundfør in Norway, and her album The Brothel carries a lot of that dark energy that I feel that I can come to the table with. Other than that, I'm not really sure what formed me as an artist. Maybe 1184 has given me some of that sort of jump start into what I wanted to do, and the Rain Chaos album of Dissection. And it's going to be a cliche through this interview if I keep saying Satyricon. All our albums have an impact on how I have been writing, but not in a very huge way.
Do you remember when or how old you was when you started to scream compared to just singing, or do you even sing?
It was in 2010 when I started with Istårn. That was
Yeah.
the first time I started doing this, and it's the only band I've been doing it with. I was horrible at it to begin with, like everyone would be, and a lot of people were sure that I was never going to achieve anything within the genre, and that I should just quit while I tried. But I think I've evolved to becoming at least one of the best local vocalists around here. That's at least how I see it myself. In Norway, that's not allowed to think. You're not allowed to think that you are one of the best, but I actually do think I am one of the best at what I do.
They're decent, I guess.
Yeah. Now, of course, there are better people than me at what I do out there, but then my goal has to be to become better than they are again.
You are the best vocalist in Istårn.
Yeah.
I mean, you are the best.
As long as I don't open my mouth.
No, I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for our music, I think no one would be better fit to be a vocalist of this band than I am, and I don't think that any other vocalist would be able to understand the energy of the band in the way I do.
like when I compose the music, is basically like I compose it as if he was going to sing on it, basically. So I kind of try to make something that would fit his vocal style, and I believe we do that
Yeah.
quite well. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Great.
think we have a good thing going. So
Yeah.
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 Great. But you said you have you started to sing in Istårn, so you hasn't been playing in any other bands.
No, I've never played in anything else.
But have you played in other bands before Istårn?
Just for fun, just playing with people, basically. Not in a band with a name or anything.
So Istårn is the main
yeah,
band for
it's
both
the first
of you.
really serious band.
I was actually planning on joining Hayden's for a while, a couple of years ago, when they started up, but I wanted to do my thing. They started, I think they told you they started with some Lamb of God covers and stuff like that, and I wasn't really into that, so yeah, I told them that I wasn't really into that whole thing, and they said okay. I'm not sure I would have ended up being their vocalist anyway, but there was some talk about it when they started. Hayden's is a couple months older than Istårn, so so after I told them that sorry, but I want to do my own thing and stuff. They respected that quite nicely, and you know, like I said, I'm not sure I would have ended up being their vocalist, but we're talking a little bit about it.
It will be so cool to check out stuff like this in 20 years and
Yeah.
see all the bands that hang out together and
Yeah, absolutely.
all this how we all know each other,
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of. You said you are the only original member of Istårn, so I want to ask, you know, members come and go, but the other guys or girls, have they decided to quit, or have they get fired, or and how many members have it been before now?
When we started out as a 4-piece band. And the two people that started the band was me and the then bassist. We called him Likstein because his name was actually Torstein, so that was a nice little twist on that, because yeah. And then we got the guy that we called Kanistrum, which was the drummer, and then it was Heltol, which was the 4th member to join the band. And we were that 4-piece band for about a year and a half or something like that. And then the bassist chose to quit. He had a lot of other things that he wanted to do, and he had a lot of other bands, and he didn't really feel that he fit into Istårn anymore, and that's okay. So we had a longer period without a bassist. Until we had some session bassists, and that was okay. And then our current bassist, Valkyrie, showed up. We asked her to join after a couple of gigs, and we asked her to join full time, and she said yes. So now she's the one in the band that's been around for longest, except me. And when it came to Haltwall, we didn't fire him, but he was stuck up in northern part of Norway, and he never came to Bergen. So we had to make some shifts in where we wanted to be. So for starters there, Gnome came in as a substitute for him. Until we actually just figured out that okay, we need to we rather want Gnome's writing than just his playing. So he took over the spot of Haltroll, and it was nice. And I had to call him on the phone and tell him that we are going to move on. It was nice working with you when we did, and that was fine. So he wasn't fired per se, but he was asked to leave because we needed to move on.
So you are still friends. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I meet him, I don't really speak a lot to him, but it's nothing bad. There's not any bad blood between us.
No.
And then he joined, and that was fine. And
That's fine.
just
And
fine.
yeah, no, I'm actually really happy that we now have 2 guitar players. And then our drummer quit this February.
Basically, I asked him about his motivation for continuing on with the band, and
He wanted to do his own thing with his life, and you know that's fine. It's so again, he wasn't fired, and it's no bad blood between us either. We're still good friends. And now we're a 6-piece band today. We also have a keyboard player, synth, keyboard, piano, whatever.
keys.
Yeah.
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 So, and he's the first one to have that position in the band.
Mm.
When I started the band, I was strict with that. I didn't want keys in my band because
That's not true.
yeah, like I said, when I was first involved in black metal, I was like, have to be true. And,
Yeah.
yeah, so I didn't want keys because you know that's Dimmy Borger and we don't want to be them. So,
No.
but I couldn't be happier about having it today.
I totally understand. I had the same vision in my earlier days as well. No keys.
Mm.
Even though I like Dimmy Borger.
Yeah,
I'll
I do too.
admit
So
that.
that's I don't have a problem with that. And I think a lot of people that would normally like bands like Dimmy Borger, they might feel or they might think that it's not cool to like this band, so therefore they say it's bad.
It's like when Metallica's Load and Reload.
Yeah,
It's like, no, it's not cool to like that, so don't.
yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, you
even,
grow up.
even
you
though
grow up.
Load and Reload are the best 2 Metallica albums ever released. So
I like them, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I prefer Kill 'Em All.
Yeah.
I must say.
Again, not surprised by that. So.
Your bassist, Valkyria.
She's a great person. The fun thing about it is that our new drummer, he's actually her brother, and he played with us before she joined the band as a substitute bassist.
Uh-huh.
So he's played more concerts with the band than she has, and she is not joining us for the Dissection concert. So he's actually getting even more concerts with us than she has. So, yeah, she's a great person, and she has a lot of positive energy inside the band, and it's never anything bad to play with her. She's a great girl.
Great.
Yeah.
Right now, I can only think of, you know, the band Difficult. They got
Yeah.
a drummer who is
Oh,
a
yeah,
girl. Trish.
Yeah.
Right now, I can't think of any other bands in this black genre that have chicks in the bands.
Not at the moment, but I know.
If we don't think about like Arch Enemy and that
Yeah.
kind of music,
Yeah, no, you
but
had
in this kind of black metal,
Yeah,
right now I just Difficult and Istårn is the only
yeah.
one.
I think Trish has actually been working with a lot of other bands as well.
Yeah.
So every band she's in and out of, obviously, and then Valkyria is also playing in another band called Cain, Children of Cain, I think. And they're quite fun. They remind me a lot of myself when I was younger with their energy for the whole thing. The only difference between me when I was younger and they are and where they are at this point is that they are way better than I was when I started Istårn. So, but yeah, you also have bands like Gravdal. They don't have a female member at the moment, but they did have at least a female. I think it was session bassist. So they're around, but they're like unicorns.
How is the future of rock music, and are rock music dying?
It's just evolving into the better.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
yeah, it's
More
evolving.
genres, more everything, more to listen to, more inspiration, more everything.
Yeah. What people need to remember is that it's not dying, it's just different. And bands like, a good example of it is actually Baby Metal from,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, just making sure. That a lot of people don't like it because they have this mindset that metal is this and this, and inside these four walls, this is what metal is. But it's long since been breaking out from that whole wall. We don't have metal the way they did in the 90s. Everything is evolving, where even black metal has like 1,000 subgenres at this point. So it's just evolving. It's getting into some new, very interesting territories. Not everything is for everyone, and no, I don't think it's dying. Maybe original rock is going to die out with the old rock legends.
It's going to die because people do the same thing all over again. So those kind of genres are just underground now. Like you have all these Metallica, copy paste kind of bands. They just play it like they never get out there. Like
so if I think if bands are not more proactive in getting their music out, and if they sort of submit to the whole streaming generation, they don't get out there and show themselves, then yes, it will die. But as I see it now, no, it's not. It's not on the way to the grave yet, just yet.
What do you think about the music scene in Norway? If we think like not only in the metal but all around, when you turn on your radios.
Well, Kygo is doing a big thing. It's really, I don't really know. I think some artists and some genres are stronger than ever, and then I think some genres are weaker than they've been in a while. I'm not really, when people are calling themselves black metal, to take that as a good example today, that in and of itself doesn't intrigue me to listen to it. I need to say that we have a new view on what we want to do, and we have our own thing. I'm not interested in listening to some Gorgoroth copy band, because that's not
Gorgoroth already exists.
Yeah, and they're not very interesting at this point.
Then you rather listen to the original Gorgoroth than another.
Absolutely. But Norway's music scene in and of itself is doing okay, isn't it?
It's quite strong in Bergen, more like in Kristiansand. It's quite weak. That's what I've heard. Like the music scene, like people don't go to gigs down there as much as up here. Like Bergen might be the biggest music scene in Norway. Well, Oslo is quite big too, of course. Yeah. So it's certainly doing well in a lot of genres, and we have a lot of actually talented pop musicians and more pop-ish musicians today. With you have the old schoolers like Susanne Sundfør and Sivert Høyem, and then you get down to the girl Aurora, which is quite interesting musically. Not something that a lot of metalheads go to, of course, but it's a sign that the musical scene in Norway is still working as it should be. Metal is still in the underground, and it was always supposed to be in the underground. And that's the whole point. It's a community, and people go to the gigs they like to go to.
I really like that you mentioned these pop artists.
Yeah.
It's like you show that you have a broader vision of music than not only Gorgoroth and Ulva. Even
though Ulva is quite an interesting concept, though.
Actually.
Like they're one of the more interesting ones, seeing as they don't actually make black metal anymore.
It was a bad.
But a lot of people think of that band as
Ulva?
Yeah,
like the newest album.
Yeah, I love that. So their electronic albums are actually quite interesting.
I think of them as a black metal band because I usually
everyone does. But that's also another great example of that is the Norwegian Shining, which has just blown out everything that's called genres and like making this metal jazz combo, which is very interesting.
It's
and
really extreme.
And I really hope that more bands are trying to go out of their ways to actually change the face of music, because you can't just do a cardboard copy of what the previous guys did. You have to actually be innovative and change something.
When I interviewed the band Den Såkalte, I accidentally called them a true Norwegian black metal band. And they told me, no, we are not a true Norwegian black metal band. Would you consider yourself as a...
No. We are more like...
I've described it like Norwegian extreme metal. I've taken a step back from the black metal thing, because we don't sing about church burnings, we don't sing... like, the whole stuff that Istårn of Mayhem said, that black metal is not necessarily about the fast drumming and whatever, it's about the lyrics and the whole atmosphere. But we don't sing about that, and we don't have that atmosphere that a true Norwegian black metal band is doing. So I took a step back. We're Norwegian and we are doing extreme metal. So Norwegian extreme metal is actually a quite nice way to do it.
That's quite fitting, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I call it. People may label it as they may. We're black metal if we're
Play music.
like,
Yeah.
Make music.
yeah, that's actually the broadest way to say it. We make music.
We're in a band.
Nice. No, yes, I call it Norwegian extreme metal because I think that is more fitting.
Mm.
Yeah.
Great. Do you have any bands, like friends or small bands that you want to promote on the air to our great audience that you think people should check out, that people like me haven't heard about?
I think I would start with the Children of Cain. Again, they have great potential. They're not completely polished yet. They have a couple of kinks they need to work out, but they have a lot of good potential.
Do you have
I can't come up with anything.
It's just crap.
I can just go on if you like, and then you can jump on. I would have to ask people to check out the people that we're going to play with. The Crimson Reapers, which is a combo band. People need to check out that band. They are really kicking ass.
We will release this interview after the gig, so
yeah, so it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter
that much,
no.
but at least check out Nifost and Children of Cain and Vintervis, which are okay bands.
Great. I'll link those below. Do Istårn got any last words for the audience?
I'll give you this one.
Yeah, please look forward to our new album. It's gonna be smashing.
Yeah, smashing is the word. Yeah, it's
gonna be different than what you've heard from Istårn from before. Yeah.
I'm hoping it will be something new for everyone, and that everyone can, or everyone that likes this kind of music can at least find something that they will enjoy about our new album.
Great. I have to ask, the lyrics, will they be on English or Norwegian or both?
English, everything.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Have a good night and horns up.
Yes.
Adios.
Adios.